Today, throughout human space, is Remembrance Day, the anniversary of the beginning of the Alpha Wars more than 5 centuries ago. The Alphas were genetically engineered soldiers with superhuman agility and intelligence and a complete lack of compassion or empathy. At the height of the war, dozens of planets had been enslaved by the Alphas. Remembrance Day commemorates the beginning of the war rather than its end, as a perpetual reminder that war is not over. Although the Alphas were defeated, some of them escaped and remained in hiding. And they and their offspring are presumed to still be present in the galaxy today. Since the Alpha War, genetic resequencing technology has been very tightly controlled. Because the Alphas were the product of experimental genetic manipulation rather than natural evolution, it is believed that their genes are less robust than true human beings, and they are almost unable to have viable offspring without access to special technology. Therefore, most alpha enclaves that have been discovered since the war have had very small populations, no more than a few dozen. In these days, when the Navy ensures peace throughout much of the galaxy, on many worlds the Alphas are treated as nothing more than a boogeyman story to frighten children. Because the most striking physical feature of the Alphas was their photosynthetic skin. On some worlds, kids even run around wearing green face paint on Remembrance Day, trying to frighten people. But on other worlds, especially on the fringes of space, where the Navy seldom patrols, the Alphas are still spoken of with fear. That's just one of the many things that you sort of get pulled into at certain times, and for the most part, that's the start of the start. So here we are on Zosma memory, and if we take a look at the map, I've been doing a few jobs here and there and whatnot. Haven't upgraded the ship at all. We'll go ahead and accept that job there. We'll bring a passenger there. We're going to try and get to here because they sell what I'm looking for, or one of the places that sell what I'm looking for. But this, the deep, all of these places, this is kind of where you want to be, especially when you're starting out. And there's a reason for that. And that's these kind of missions. Deliver a secure package of supplies to Bivrost in the Markeb system. Payment is 7,500 credits. And if you take a look, I've got 3 tons of cargo space free. It's not much. But if I accept the mission, take possession of the package from a security desk near the landing site. It is a soft but tightly wrapped package that makes a disquieting sound if you squeeze it. Some of these are kind of entertaining, but it only took 1 ton of cargo space, and I'm getting paid $7,500. It's not a priority. This is, and this region of space is where you can maximize your cargo space, your limited cargo space, by taking some of these missions. So there's another secure package mission. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. But for right now, I want to get up here. I want to unload what I've got. So we'll do these in a little bit. But yeah, I've only got 1 ton of cargo space. I've been able to take 2 missions worth 15,000 credits and only take up 2 tons of cargo space. So let's plot our course. We're gonna drop something off there first, then we'll go up to Jat. We'll drop this off first. We'll go up to Jat, and then go to Alhika. I could pay a little extra, work close to making enough money to pay this mortgage off. We're going to run a couple more jobs here and get enough money to pay that mortgage off, because once we pay that mortgage off, then we're not, every dime we make is ours. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to focus on next. Except the one for the passenger. So if you remember in the first video, we went ahead and added a brig. This is the type of thing I'm talking about. Transport 3 petty criminals. That's almost 10,000 credits apiece. So for a very tiny investment in space and very tiny investment in price, we're able to make almost our entire investment back in one transport. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that. We don't have any bunks left, unfortunately, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to go up here, and then we'll come back down through there. Let's go this way. We'll drop our criminals off. Land. No outfitter here either. That's okay. Grab another job there. Part, go. Got hit a little bit, but took a little damage, so that's okay. That's no outfitter there. That's a bit of a problem, but that's all right. We're just going to feel our way through here. Let's take a look at what we've got for our return trip. Oh, 2 passengers. I'll gladly take 2 passengers somewhere. 3 tourists. 40,000 credits. Yeah, we'll take them there too. That might be the... God, what the... So let's just run away from these idiots. Distracted enough this time. Whew, boy. That was a little tougher than I would have liked. That was terrible. At least they were distracted enough that I wasn't. I was able to make it through. So let's go to the outfitter. This should help. What we'll need is one of these. So sell the hyperdrive, buy the scram drive. It's going to put us behind a little bit, and to give us a little boost, let's make this ship a little faster. That was a bit tough. That's going to take us a little longer to pay off our debt, but these atomic thrusters and steering take more energy, use more energy, but they turn and go a lot faster. So I'm just going to go ahead and get those. Could go to Beetlejuice. I'm not going to go to Beetlejuice. We're going to need a little extra fuel. We've got 16 of 120 now. So let's buy 2 of these. Now I've used all of our outfit space. I'm going to leave. Now I can get to Jat. And in 3 jumps. Now we're a lot faster. But we're going to have to do a few more missions to pay off our bills. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Once we get to somewhere significant, then we'll come back to this. So I went to a spaceport and I got this special package here that somebody wanted to deliver down to the rim, and it's on the planet Deep in Corniforos. Well, in order to get down there, I can't just, I've got bills to pay. So I'm trying to plot out different missions along the way to get down there, and I'll do the same thing going back until I've got something planned out. I'm not going to get to this one until I've paid my way down there. Otherwise, you just end up losing money. And that's what you got to do. You got to plan ahead and strategize, that type of thing. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, I've got to the point where I can pay off my mortgage. So we're going to go ahead and click Pay Extra. 9. Okay, now we don't have a mortgage payment anymore. And I qualify for a new loan up to 415,460 credits, but we're not going to do that. We don't need another mortgage payment. But what we're going to do is we're going to build up our credits so that we can get a bigger and better ship. So we're going to continue to do other jobs. And speaking of other jobs, so we go to the job board here. I picked up a couple of jobs down here in the rim in the south. And it's basically just some surveillance. You fly through the systems. There we go. You fly through the systems and then you report back to Aldebane. And I've already done a few of them. But we got a few more. So, well, look at us. We made it to our first 1,000,000 credits. And now we're kind of at a crossroads in more ways than one. And this game is full of these types of decisions. So let's go ahead and go to the job board here. Now, this is the space we've explored. And there's a lot more space to go through and a lot more things to do. Now, I know from experience, I want to go here. And it's mainly through empty space. Now, I know I want to get there because it goes into a whole other section of the map that I want to get to. The problem is, if we go to the outfitter here, I don't have any outfit space free. And why is that significant? Well, the problem is, in order to get to that part of space, I can get there, but I can't go any further without assistance. So I need about 5 jumps worth of fuel, but I have 0 space on here to add any more fuel pods. I can't add a ram scoop, which will allow me to refill at a star, and a ram scoop is really what I want. And that's kind of the difficulty with a scram drive. It uses 50% more fuel per jump, therefore limiting your range a little bit. So 600 fuel capacity only gives you about 4 jumps worth of fuel. Okay, well, I can kind of get to where I want to go with 4 jumps worth of fuel. But once I get to where I'm going, I'm going to need help in order to get to a population center. And that also means getting back, I'm going to need the same kind of help. And that part of space, like I said, it's empty and full of pirates. So that's a little bit of a problem. So there's a couple of options here. Here at the Betelgeuse shipyards, we could buy another ship, something that's bigger. So the Bounder is nice, but it costs 1.572 million credits. It's a good ship. It's only got 2 turret mounts for weapons, which is fine. That works. It's got much more outfit space, more engine capacity, that type of thing. More bunks, more cargo space. Awesome, right? Problem is, we can't afford it, but we can go to the bank. We qualify for a loan of up to 961,000 credits. So between the loan and what we have, plus selling our current ship, we would be able to afford the Bounder. And the reason I point the Bounder out is because it only requires 1 crew. And that's what you want to stick with in these early stages. You don't want to have to pay any extra crew, because for every day that you have them on board, it costs you 100 credits per crew. So that's all well and good. Alternatively, we could get a heavy shuttle, because we need about 10 units of storage, 10 tons of outfit space. Well, if we compare the heavy shuttle to our shuttle, the outfit space is 10 tons more. We also get more bunks, we get 40 tons of cargo space, better shields, better hull, and we can transfer a lot of the things that we have over in our shuttle over to this heavier shuttle. And it only costs $628,000. Well, we can cover that without a loan. Problem is, it's okay, but it's not a huge upgrade from what we already have. We also only get another 100 units of fuel, so that would give us 700, but that still doesn't quite get us to where we want to go. We're still only about 4 jumps away. But then we'll be able to put in a ram scoop and that type of thing. That's great. So that would also solve the problem. We can also go and forget all that and do some of these jobs we've got lined up down here. We're all the way up here. Some of the jobs, there's a job here, there's a job here that we're going to do, and a couple of jobs over here. We gotta travel all the way and spend some time to get that. So instead of going there right now, we can go do some jobs, save up a little more money, and go to a different shipyard, get a different ship. The very next ship that I'd like to get is a Scout, and they sell them back at Alpard here, along with the heavy shuttle and that type of thing. It's 1.278 million. By the time we get back from doing all of these other jobs and spend a little time, we should be able to afford it without taking out a loan. The nice thing about the Scout, this is a ship that you can go through a lot of this section of the game in. It's also, it only requires 1 crew, has a few fewer bunks than the Bounder, but it's got a couple of gun ports and a turret mount. And the turret mount is great for defense, and this is a fast little ship. A lot of shields, and but the hull is kind of an eggshell. That's the only downfall with this particular model of ship. It doesn't say it here, but the Scout also comes with its own ram scoop. So we could get this ship, then go travel to where we want to go, and we can really start exploring the galaxy with the Scout once we have it all outfitted. Where I really want to be is I want to get this Titan, because this is a small ship, only requires 2 crew, and it actually only requires 1 crew, but it has 2 turret mounts. So if the turret mounts are occupied by a weapon, then that mount requires a crew. So that's why it requires 2. Defensive weapons, like the anti-missile turrets, which this has as well, doesn't require any crew. It's got a lot of weapon capacity. It's got a lot of storage space, 100 tons of cargo space, but we may not be to that point quite yet. Those are all great options. We can keep saving up. We can do other missions. We can wait on some things. We can just throw caution to the wind and hope we can get to where we want to go. All that's fine and dandy. There's another option that this game provides, and some people might call it cheating. I kind of like to think of it as kind of I don't know. It's what Han Solo would do to the Millennium Falcon. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this shuttle here, quick. So we don't have any outfit space free. We don't have any room for anything else, except you take a look at the weapons. You know, we have 10 weapon capacity, 10 tons of weapon capacity. Well, why can't we stick things in that weapon capacity? Han Solo would modify the Millennium Falcon to do all kinds of different things and make it faster and shoehorn things into other places. And especially we've got excess engine tonnage that we could use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shoehorn some capacity into this shuttle. So we're going to go ahead and quit. Now, if we go to home, we're going to want to view these hidden folders. Okay? View and hidden files, that type of thing. Okay? Now this is in Linux. In Windows it's going to be a little different. But if we go to here, we go to .local. We go to share. We go to endless sky. We go to saves. And here are all of the different saves. Now we've got this is the first one. This is our current one that we're on. And it saves a few backups so that we can go back. So this is the one we're on. This is the previous spaceport. This is the 1, 2, and 3 spaceports before. Every time you land at a spaceport, it creates a new save up to 4 of them. So if we open this, we can just open it in a text editor, and we can see that this is human readable. So we scroll down to our shuttle. This is what we own, and it's very well annotated and documented and that type of thing. So here's our outfits that we've added to the shuttle. Outfit space is 120. Weapon capacity is 10. So if we change that to, if we borrow this and change that to 0 and add that to our outfit space, now we can use weapon capacity for outfit space. We can do the same thing with the engine capacity. So we had 22 tons of excess engine capacity. Well, let's change that to... Okay, so we've taken 20 tons of engine capacity. We've applied that to the cargo space. So we had 20 tons of cargo space. Now we have 40 tons. It's kind of like what Maverick space captains would do. We're gonna find cargo space wherever we can. We happen to have some room in the engine room. We'll throw some crates in there. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So we took out the 20 tons of engine capacity, put it in the cargo space. We took out all of our weapon capacity, so we're not able to put any weapons on this ship. And we put that 10 tons in the outfit space so that we can go and buy a ram scoop and be able to go into other areas of space and not be stranded. Let's go ahead and see how that works. We'll save that and see how that works. Let's enter the ship. Keep in mind, this really only took us, what, a year or so? 2 years to get our first 1,000,000 credits. And we bought a lot of things along the way. We paid off a loan, all that good stuff. So if we go, let's go back to the outfitter. Now we've got, there's our outfit space. We're at 130. We're at 10 of 130. Our weapon capacity is 0 of 0. So let's go ahead and buy this ram scoop. Now we can refill our hyperdrive or scram drive just by parking ourselves around a star. And that will come in very handy a little later. Don't really care about anything else right now. Now, here's the other thing too. We could put in an outfits expansion. We could even put in a couple of them. Put in a bunk room. We can put in a small we could put in outfits expansion. Put in a small bunk room. Grab a couple extra bunks. We'd have 8 instead of 6. The problem with the outfits expansion, and any expansion really, and I try to avoid it, is it takes up 20 tons of space to give you back 15 tons worth of space elsewhere. So the game does allow you to move cargo space into outfit space. The problem is if we were to use an outfits expansion, yes, we could have gotten a ram scoop, but we would have lost 5 tons worth of capacity in the process. So using the shoehorn method, there's not as big of a, we're just trading. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off. We're trading weapon capacity for outfit space, or we're trading excess engine capacity for more cargo space. And you can move it around how you want, but it's 1-to-1. But once you can't do that anymore, well, then you can start using these outfits expansions and whatnot. Or if you're a purist, you can just skip doing the file editing and just go, use what's in the game. Is it cheating if there's rules? If the game allows you to do it? I don't know. That's something you're going to have to decide. So now we can get to the area of space that I want to get to, and let's go to that mystery area of space. Now, you'll see this kind of pink ring on your scope. Well, this is a wormhole. This takes you to a completely different area of space, and you'll notice we're sort of out of fuel. So we're going to go ahead and find our star here. There we go. And you see how the ram scoop is working to refill our hyperdrive. So if we go to a map, here's the wormhole that we just traveled through, and we have a hyperspace lane that we can go to this area here, and as soon as we have enough fuel, we can wait and fill up all the way if we wanted to, but we really only need about 150 units of fuel. And now we have 200. So let's go ahead and make the jump. We're going to go ahead and land in the system. Here we are. This planet is populated by an alien species that resemble giant intelligent squirrels. However, the most surprising aspect of the spaceport is not the aliens, but the fact that human merchants and other civilians are walking among them and are clearly at home here. Would you like to find someone who can tell you what's going on here? Sure, why not? You walk up to a human merchant who is busy haggling with one of the aliens. They interrupt their conversation when they see you approaching, and the human gestures for you to join them. You look totally lost, he says. First time down the rabbit hole? You nod. The alien reaches out a paw and shakes hands with you. Welcome to high space, they say. We are people of peace, and you are free to visit us or even live among us. Our worlds provide enough bounty for all. You glance quickly at the human merchant to see his expression, wondering if these aliens can indeed be so benign, but his expression is calm and untroubled. It's true, he says. Look around you. These buildings have stood for thousands of years. High society is so advanced, they need almost no resources to maintain it. Humans are a young species, the High says, full of energy, full of new ideas, and the High are old, and everything we do is what we have done before. When humans go on vacation, they travel to a world with perfect weather, sunny every day. When High go on vacation, we visit the stormiest world to find unpredictability and change. Humans are so strange that to speak with a human is like a small vacation. They smile, and you catch a glimpse of its massive incisors. Based on your knowledge of xenobiology, you would guess the High are herbivores, but you can't be certain. So I'm allowed to travel throughout your territory if I want? Yes, they say, but be careful. The north is the territory of some renegade High who are misled in their ways. Bandits and pirates living off what they steal from the rest of us. If you travel among them, you will not be safe. Also, the human adds, I've heard rumors that the unfettered High are trying to get human captains who land on their worlds to do some tasks for them. I'm not particularly interested in finding out what those tasks are, but if you see something suspicious happening, that might be it. You talk for a little while longer, but do not gain much additional information except that several of their worlds are willing to sell high technology even to human beings. You thank them both for stopping to talk with you, and the High responds, we're always glad to welcome new friends. May peace dwell in your heart until we meet again. We're now in a new area of the map that is only accessible by that wormhole until later in the game. Let's go ahead. Let's visit the job board. Let's take a look. Not a lot here. Now, you notice that there are some jobs already. And some of these jobs, this High wants to vacation on the strange world, High world of Microplace. They pay more in this area of space for things and tasks and whatnot. 6 tons of fuel tanks to be delivered to Prime. Payment is 50,000 credits. So, yeah, it's very profitable to be here. But let's go ahead and let's go to the outfitter. Let's grab a local map and take a closer look at this space. So, shipyards, a couple of shipyards you can buy. Now you have a few more ships to purchase. But these ships, while they are robust, they're expensive, and they require a lot of crew. That's my main complaint. So a Scarab got decent shields, decent hull, but it requires 4 crew. The fuel capacity is only 400. These require a lot of 1.43 million. This is almost like a shuttle, almost like the shuttle we have. So it's got a little more cargo capacity, but it just none of the ships are worth purchasing, except for some of their capital ships. But once again, the capital ships require a lot of crew. And so that's not something we're really after. So let's go ahead and go to the outfitter. We don't have any turret mounts. We don't have any way to mount weapons anymore. We are a peaceful ship. But this is worth looking at. This is our current shield generator. Our outfit space required is 15. It provides 12 shield generation per second. If we take a look at this is 16. It's only 1 ton more than our current shield generator. But there's also a couple other penalties. It's more shield energy is required. It's higher energy consumption. shield. It produces heat that you'll have to get rid of. You know, a couple of extra trade-offs. But right now, our ship is so small, we don't really have the outfit space to do that. But one of the things I would like to do, I want to purchase one of these keystones. The problem is right now I can't install it on my ship. So what I'm going to do is we're going to hold down the control key and unselect my ship, and we're going to buy this into our cargo space. And we can buy 10 of them and only take up 1 ton because the mass is only 0.1. But we would need a 1 ton of outfit space. But when you're putting them into cargo, the mass is the only thing you're concerned about. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 10 of them. We're going to leave here. We're going to go to the job board. Now, I would go ahead and do a few missions here. And in fact, let's go ahead and do this one mission. I only have 1 bunk anyway. I really don't have a lot of excess capacity because of all of the all of these missions that I've got to do yet. So let's go ahead and let's go here. Tiny little ship. There we go. This is also why I have I have that overlay on my ship. It helps keep track of it. So now this has got a shipyard. It sells a bunch of different ships. The outfitter sells a few more weapons. I can grab an outfits expansion if I wanted to. And you know what? I kind of want to. I would be willing to sacrifice 20 tons worth of cargo space to install a couple extra things. There's a bigger shield generator. Let's grab an outfits expansion. Let's install one of these. Let's sell this and upgrade it so it will be a little more robust. And we'll grab a small bunk room so that we can get a couple extra bunks into the ship. And now we're using all of that outfits expansion. Yes, we had to sacrifice 5 tons. Cargo space I'm not that concerned about. Like I said, it's not as lucrative as carrying people. So what we want to do, we want to go back to Pt2. Oh, we also want to grab our map. Looks like a pirate world, and it kind of is. If we go to the shipyards, we've got a very famous ship. Well, there's a Sea Scorpion. That's only sold in the unfettered world, and it's 13 million credits. It's a fairly robust ship, but this is the thing. Like required crew, we couldn't afford it right now anyway. Something to think about for the future, maybe. But the Shield Beetle is sold on this one world, and it is very robust. It's a very strong ship. The issue is the required crew is a little high. The tonnage is a little low. It's okay, but it's not great. Not something we're going to be able to do right now. So let's go ahead and let's plot a course back to Pt2. Part. And let's jump. Now, the only reason we're going to Pt2 is to refuel. I don't care where we land. I want to get refueled. And the trick is, because this is 5, this takes 5 jumps. I've only got enough fuel for 4. So what I've got to do is I'm going to use my ram scoop. We're going to go to Waypoint, because that's a peaceful system. Nobody's going to attack you there. And we're going to hang around the sun and, soak up the sun. Now we're refueling, and we'll wait till we're full. So if we go to the map and our jumps, See, we still can't quite reach Beetlejuice. And these systems are full of pirates. So I want to be able to jump through them and not have to worry about it. We're almost there. Looks like we're full. And yep, now we can reach Beetlejuice. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump. It's plotting a course through the wormhole. And here we go. Go ahead and land on Prime. Now, the first time you get back from high space, they're going to harass you about it. When you open the door to let the Navy officer on inspection duty, you expect him to produce the usual set of landing papers and bureaucracy. But instead he says, "Captain Gigabytes, I'd like to speak to you for a few minutes in private." He motions toward a frigate on the landing pad next to Pip. "What about?" "I did say in private, did I not?" he says, once again motioning to the frigate. The man puts a hand on your shoulder and begins walking you toward the ship. As you approach, you note that the man's uniform doesn't have any Navy markings that you recognize. You enter the ship with the officer, and despite the decent crew requirement of a frigate, you don't notice anyone else on board. And the interior of the ship appears more cushy than you would expect out of a military vessel. The officer leads you to what looks like a rather comfy lounge area. "Please have a seat," he says. And you can be belligerent if you want. It really doesn't matter. At this point, it's kind of inconsequential. You choose a table and sit at the officer sits across from you. "So what is it you brought me here for?" you ask. The officer holds his hands together. "You made contact with an alien species located to the north, is that correct?" It's mainly inconsequential, so there's no problem. I'm just letting you know that the Republic is aware that you've made contact with the High. But you may not be aware of the arrangement that the Republic has with the High. The Republic works hard to ensure that the existence of the High remains an open secret. They do not disallow captains such as yourself from stumbling upon them, but they will not allow this existence to be widely publicized. An arrangement between the Republic and High, when did that happen? Details of the arrangement are none of your concern. All you need to know is that I am providing a warning, so to say, that you should keep the High a secret. I'm sure that you can imagine that should the existence of the High become public, it would cause a great deal of chaos for both the Republic and for the High. Chaos that would easily end badly, particularly for one who caused it. It would be in everyone's interest if you kept this knowledge a secret. And again, if I don't, he's going to threaten you. All right, I won't let anybody know. Who cares? It doesn't matter. So that's good to hear. Thank you for your cooperation. Now, if you please depart my ship so that I can be on my way. The officer leads you out of the ship and closes the doors behind you, while the actual Navy officer on inspection duty stands beside Pip, brandishing a set of landing documents. When you finish signing them, you turn back to see the frigate take off, slowly getting smaller in the sky until it finally disappears. So that's relevant. That whole exchange is relevant, but for now, it's sort of inconsequential. You can go to high space. Nobody's going to stop you. You're not, whatever. It isn't X-Files. There's no conspiracy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish my missions here. We're going to accept a few more missions. I got a couple extra bunks, which is great. We're going to make my way down so that I can do all my missions. So I'm going to do that, and we'll pick up when we got something more interesting to tell once I start upgrading the ship. Okay, so we're on Alphard. Alphard is perfectly situated. You know, this is where we want to do a lot of our missions because we can maximize limited cargo space. We're not far away from the wormhole to go into high space. We're also not far away from another place over in this area that I'll show you in a little bit. So Alphard is sort of perfectly situated right in the middle of, you know, accessing the south, accessing the north. It's just kind of in that perfect location. So this is where I kind of want to make my base. So what I'm going to do is, I bought a bunch of these keystones. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unload them and put them in storage. So we use the U button. I'm going to leave one in cargo. So yeah, all right. So we're going to leave one in cargo. I'm not really going to change anything for the moment. And now you'll see we've got these little dots around Alphard, and that indicates that I've got 9 stored outfits, which are those keystones. What I could probably do, one of the options, if I want to install that keystone I've got in cargo, I can go ahead and nerf my, let's unload the corundum regenerator. Let's put that in storage. Let's go and rebuy this one, and that'll at least give me some regeneration, but you know, it's kind of weak sauce, you know, 12 energy generation, that type of thing. But now I've got an extra 1 ton, so I can install that keystone, which will be useful. Now keep in mind, the bigger the ship, the more jobs you've got, you can get, you're eligible for. So let's go ahead. Check the spaceport. Go. See how the energy drains every time you use every time you're moving. And now we got something that popped up. Touch down to Inget's surface and step out into the open air. The landing docks are emptier than usual and with only a handful of people walking around. Suddenly you feel the wind knocked out of you as you collide with another person and fall to the pavement with a thud. Get up and apologize. Get up and I'm a nice guy, so I'm gonna get up and apologize. You open your mouth as you lift yourself up. You find the other person's already gone. You look around. You spot a piece of paper with writing laying on the ground beside you. You pick it up and read it. Gigabytes. You're currently carrying 5 tons of cargo to Skymoot, which is true. I picked that mission up when I wasn't recording. This cargo has been described to you as an inheritance, and you have been promised 100,000 credits as payment for the job. Under no circumstances should you allow the cargo to reach the destination. Instead, bring it to Green Rock in the Shaula system. You will be paid 300,000 credits if you do so. The back of this note has a code you can use to gain clearance to land without the usual toll. You flip the paper over and see a string of letters and numbers. The note has no signature, nor anything else to identify the person who wrote it. Let's keep the note. I know for a fact that bringing it here to Skymoot is a little bit shady, so I'm going to bring it. I'm going to go ahead and bring it to the to Green Rock. Because that's the right, I know that's the right thing to do from experience. Whether this whole thing makes it into the video, I don't know. Same number, 3 jumps away, 20,000. Let's do that. Alright, so we're going to go to Shola instead of Hadar for 3 times the reward, and it's the right thing to do. So, let's hope that this little ship can survive the pirate attack. Depart, jump. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and land. It's going to refuse. Press the T button, and you read out the code on the back of the paper you received from the and get a green light from the Green Rocks authorities, along with a set of coordinates. Done. And land, and there we go. You follow the coordinates to a clearing within the forests of Green Rock. Several other ships are present near the landing site, all of which wear pirate colors. A person wearing a cloak steps out from one of the vessels to greet you. I'm glad that you were able to trust us, they say. My name is not Sai, but you may refer to me as such. A gang of pirates emerges from the foliage around your ship and begins to unload the cargo from your ship. I'm going to say, can I ask you some questions? One of the pirates near you bares his pointy teeth, but Sai steps forward and raises their hand. Please forgive the naivety of this captain, they say to the pirate before turning toward you. I apologize, but I'm afraid I cannot answer your questions. This is a very volatile matter, and any misplaced information could spell death. You're safer knowing as little as possible. And you know what? I'm not even gonna fight this. After a few minutes, the pirates finished unloading the cargo, and Sai steps forward, holding out a credit chip. 300,000 credits for making the right choice. Sai and the pirates return their ships, and you take off and head towards the main spaceport of Green Rock. You know, pirate planets have some interesting ships. Most of them are, you know, generally the same as most other things. This Scrapper is a unique little ship, very cheap, but you see the shields and the hull, and yeah, it's it's kind of like a used shuttle, pretty bad. Modified Argosy, these are okay ships, but you know, it requires too many crew. The cargo space is all right, and it's 3.45 million. Couple of unique little ships, but for the most part, just really not worth the time. Outfitter, they do have some pretty unique weapons, but you can also get those in one particular other system on the rim. So a twin modified blaster, it's pretty powerful. It takes a lot of outfit space. Twin blaster. So like on this ship, if we still had, if we didn't get rid of our weapon space, we could stick one of these in there. But you can get most of these weapons in other systems too. So, but for our purposes, I am going to buy some fragmentation grenades. They don't take up any sort of space, and they'll help us later on. So I'll just buy 5 of them. We'll leave. I'm going to do some other missions, and we'll come back to this once we're ready to go. Once we got something more interesting to show.